All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Sri Guru. If you could sit more closer, more devotees can come in. We usually fit in this room about 120 students. Yes, children. And also, if you can leave few seats in the front, at least 4 seats. We are expecting 7 Swamis. We have registered for this class. So, someone who speaks the language of those people who are sitting in the front maybe should explain. At least they are speaking Russian, I think. 4 seats in the front should be left for Swamis. Huh? Oh. Okay. Alright, 1 Swami left. Still we have 6 Swamis. Anyway, as they come in, you may have to move finally. So I just don't want to waste time now. It's 5 o'clock. I would start. You can, Chitranga, you could put a few mats on there for mothers. Tomorrow most probably we'll move to a bigger place because according to my registration I had only 18 students in here. So the room was selected for 18 students. So now just take the difficulty of just sitting anywhere possible now, and tomorrow we would move the venue to most probably over that lawn there, and if it doesn't rain. Whoever has not registered for this class, before you go today, you please meet Chitranga Chaitanya. Where is Chitranga Chaitanya? He just went to pick some mats up. So, please register your names so that we can arrange things properly for the class. So, this seminar is on 6 systems of the Vedic philosophies, which are technically known as Shad Darshan. So today we are just introducing you to what the subject matter is. Actual classes are starting from tomorrow. So, human life is meant for inquiry. In the human person, we find that there are 2 main subject matter to study. One is his body, another is his soul. This body is of 2 kinds. One is gross body, another is subtle body. And gross body is made of earth, water, fire, ether and air. And the subtle body is consisting of mind, intelligence and ego. So this body is in the Upanishads. Upanishad means books which are either part of the Vedas or who are subsidiary books of the Vedas, which bring one close to knowledge. Upa means to bring. Naya means closer or sight, closer sight or vision. To bring closer. So in the Upanishads, this body is mentioned as having 5 different koshas or 5 different levels in the body. These are known technically as Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya. These terminologies are not new to you. If you have studied nicely Bhagavad Gita as it is, Prabhupada mentions these. So within the body there are 5 different departments of existence. And in the beginning of life, mostly every living entity is just interested in food. In the Taittiriya Upanishad we find Harihi Om Ahamannam 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 Ahamannado Hamannado Hamannadaha. I am food, I am food, I am verily food. So, though we announce it's going to be very thick philosophy, don't worry, we'll have a lot of this in our seminar. So, we all like to hear this. We are food. Just tell an Italian, he is pasta. He's going to be in ecstasy. Or if you told a South Indian, you are idli, he will be very happy. Or tell somebody in America that he is hamburger. So then he will be more in ecstasy. So I am food. This is first stage of consciousness, in which the goal of life is to simply eat sumptuously. Even though your name may be Ekadasi, but you every day eat like Dwadasi. So that's called Annamaya, means made of food. And just looking for food, always thinking of food. How can I eat? What will I get to eat? This is Annamaya. After this, then one lives in the consciousness of being alive. And now you have eaten. The next thing is you have to live. Otherwise, who will digest it? You ate the food, so you have to live. So then the thing is that, how should I live? I have to live. That means if one can continue the life without getting attacked by someone or without getting killed by someone, then he is in ecstasy. Oh, I am living. That's all I need. And they think that as long as I have enough of these stacked up next to me, no one is equal to me. I am very happy. I am big power. I am USSR. And then there's simply some shaved head people come and they turn the whole thing upside down. So after this stage, and when one is situated on the mental platform, then his consciousness is called Manomaya. Manomaya. Somebody thinks that when I see somebody whom I don't like, suddenly my stomach opens up and blue rays of light come out. Or someone thinks that I was in the Sringar Arati today and I'm sure Radharani winked at me. This type of all kinds of far out imaginations. This is called Manomaya. Mental case, we call it in our ISKCON terminology. He is a mental case. You are mental, Prabhu. So this is called mental, Manomaya. Then, if we study the modern civilizations, who do not refer to Vedas or scriptures, you will find that the whole materialistic civilization is within these 3 cataclysms only. Annamaya, Pranamaya and Manomaya. All these so-called philosophers, Plato, Aristotle, Pythagoras, and the modern day 8 afflicted philosophers like Beatles, Jeetles, Rock Hudson, and all these useless, I don't want to say the actual word, useless monkeys, jumping melancholy. All these people, they all come under this. Big, big bellies, big, big monkeys, Ceylon jumping, making melancholy. This is a poem Srila Prabhupada always quoted. When Ramachandra was going to Ceylon, big, big monkeys and big, big bellies. and Ceylon jumping and making melancholy. So all these philosophers, Michelangelo Cabacha, all these people, they are just a bunch of mental cases. Freud, fraud. You can give a list of them. This is the last time I will be mentioning these unholy names, so I'm just using enough. After this we will get into the Vedic, then we will forget these people. We won't even think of them in the daydream anymore. So, this whole materialistic civilization is just packed in within these three storerooms of Annamaya, Pranamaya and Manomaya. The first concern of civilized persons is economic development. These are Prabhupada's own words in the conversation. The next is defense against annihilation. And the next consciousness is mental speculation. The philosophical approach to the values of life. Of course, it's only an approach. It's not that they do anything. They simply approach. Just imagine if you are so hungry and you approached a plate of prasad and just approached and then left. Then what would be the use? You can say, yeah, I approached. And then what happened? Well, I just came back. Like if I send a messenger, please go and see such and such Maharaj, immediately he leaves. And then he goes, sees such and such Maharaj, comes back. Yes, my dear teacher, I went and saw that Maharaj. But I was going to tell you to see that Maharaj and give him this message. Oh, wow, you told me to go see Maharaj. I saw Maharaj and came back. So this is what these speculators generally do. What do? They approach the problem and they view according to their liver, the health of their liver. The liver is weak, they see it in the wrong way. If the liver is good, they see it in the right way. In this way, they cannot guide anybody properly. So if by the evolutionary process, the philosophical life, if one happens to reach the platform of intellectual life and understands that he is not the material body, but he is a spark of spirit, like this cassettes we have in ISKCON, a spark of life. If one can understand that I am a spiritual spark, I am not just this case of matter, a bag of skin filled with mucus, bile and air. If one can understand this much, if he is clever enough, then that is known as Vijnanamoya, or a platform of scientific understanding. This is called science. Science means to understand what is true and what is temporary, what is Sat and what is Asat. This is called science. So this is known as Vijnana. And by evolution in spiritual life, he comes to the understanding of the super soul or the supreme soul. Then he is a little more fortunate. Within that category of scientific brain, apart from understanding that I am different from this matter, he also understands that I am soul, and he also understands that there is a super soul. There is one universal soul, or cosmic soul, whatever terminology they want to put, according to the amount of LSD they have taken. So then he is more fortunate, a little more fortunate. But when one develops his relationship with that Supreme Lord, that Supreme Soul, and executes that relationship in practical devotional service, Bhakti Yoga Prayojita, Vasudeve Bhagavati, Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. When one engages in that devotional service, and then we can understand that he is in Anandamaya platform. He is on the topmost platform of knowledge. In the Brahma Sutra, Sri Vyasadeva, he says, Anandamayo Bhyasat. The Lord is an embodiment of bliss, and the living entities are his part and parcel. So, we are originally, our existence is blissful existence. So the first four stages are considered as material conditioned stages of life. These four stages are Annamaya, stage of food; Pranamaya, stage of life; and Manomaya, stage of mind, and Vijnanamaya, stage of scientific understanding of matter and spirit. So these four stages are known as conditioned states. But Anandamaya is known as liberated stage. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kangshati na sochati. He doesn't hanker. Na kangshati. He doesn't lament. Samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim lapate param. Samasarveshu bhuteshu. He is equally disposed to everything that is dead or living. Because of that, madbhaktim lapate param. He attains madbhakti, devotional service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So this is known as actual understanding of the physiology. In the physiology in the universities, they teach you by saying that you are skin, bone, marrow, etc., etc. Lung, general circulation of blood, special circulation of blood in the lungs. And they say this is physiology. But this is not physiology, this is skinology. Skin deep only. The real physiology is your Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamayo Bhyasat. This is called Vedic understanding. It sounds primitive to Max Muller, because inside his beard there are some bugs biting him. So he can't figure out what's going on. He simply stamps it by his footnote as primitive. And the stupid modern Indian young men, they also go to Max Muller Bhavan, and after drinking some imported German wine, they say, Jai, Max Muller ki Jai, Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa. So, but this is just a bunch of goats following another goat. They have the least idea how much information is there in the Vedic literature, the least idea. They do not know that these Vedas are none different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These are not some stupid books written by some Seventh-day Adventists. No, it's not like that. Anyway, we will leave that now and we'll proceed. So if one does not come to this understanding that he is part and parcel of Krishna, then his breathing is equal to the breathing of the bellows. If you go to the iron shop, you see some bag is getting filled and it's getting open, air is going in, air is coming out. It's also breathing. Also you see some trees. If you go to the national park in Sydney, you find these trees 200 years old, huge, big, tall, no fruit, no flower, nothing. Only thorns. No shade either. Just rubber. Nothing else. So much leaves fall and the whole place becomes dirty. That's all. Such tall, tall trees are there. So his life is as good as a tree. No better than camels and hogs and dogs. His existence in this material world is as good as a camel. The camel is walking and looking at a thorny bush, and then he thinks, oh, this is very nice. And he starts eating. And then the thorns go inside and pierce inside his mouth, and his own blood is coming, and he's tasting, and he's thinking, oh, delicacy, first class, very nice, ooh, very good. And then after half an hour of very good, very nice, then the pain starts in the neck. Then he's thinking, why am I hurting myself? What's going on here? And then he sues the restaurant for $50 million. So this is called a camel. One Hollywood actress went to a restaurant eating some vegetarian food, and what happened was one tooth broke and fell into the noodles. So immediately she sued the restaurant for $50 million, and she got it. This is called Kali Yuga. So this is the life of camels and hogs and dogs. The judge in the court, he was a hog, and the advocate who argued for her, he was simply an ass, and then this lady was a camel. So when you put this civilization together, then $50 million go for somebody's broken tooth. So this is called modern civilization. And this is considered as very advanced, very civilized. This we should understand. For understanding this, we should stand upside down and look at the world. Then we will understand. Because it's already upside down. So the Vedic recommendation, therefore, is it is not just this Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya. Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayah Divi Vachakshuradatam Tad Vipraso Vibanyavo Jagruvagum Sasamintate Vishnoryat Paramam Padam. Paramam Padam, the supreme abode of Lord Sri Krishna. Sad Vishnu, Sad means Vishnu. Wherever you find Sad word in the Vedic literature, we should understand that this means Vishnu. Wherever you find the word Yagya, Yagyo vai Vishnu. He is the supreme Lord, not void. A person, as personal as I am, as emotional as I am, as much desires as I have, he has. He is a living, conscious, emotional person with unlimited sentiments. He is not a piece of bamboo, or he is not some darkness. Neither he is some big light, some floodlight in the Russian camps. This is not God. Or not he is a big old man who couldn't stitch his shirts properly because he didn't have proper tailors there. He has loose shirts and he was hanging on the cloud looking for his only son, whom we crucified. So this is not God. This is childish. Why pigs have so many children? Why God should have only one child? Why, he did family planning or what? So this is not accepted by the Vedas. The only son, 1.5 son. What is this nonsense? Natsatsuna vinashyati. Krishna says, parastasmattu bhavan yo vyakta vyakta sanatana. Vyakta vyakta sanatana. This material existence is sometime manifested, sometime unmanifested. But parastasmattu bhavan yo, parastasmat, beyond this material existence, there is another existence. Parastasmattu bhava. And it is natural. It is not that it is some kind of an imagination coming out of somebody's intestines when he does this new meditation system. It's not like that. Bhavanyo, it is natural. It is existing forever. Vyakta, vyakta sanatana. Whether this world is manifest or this world is unmanifest, that existence is sanatana, eternal, always is there. Anashyat shuna vinashyati. When this material existence is annihilated at the end, then nasyatsu, it is not destroyed. Na vinashyati, never destroyed. And that is the supreme abode of Krishna. And one should somehow or other, by either gradual process of evolution, which will take 50 million lifetimes, or just by reading one BTG distributed in any language, he should come to this Anandamaya platform and go back home. Back to Godhead. This is Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. So the conclusion is, if a human being does not fulfill this mission of understanding that I have to go back home, back to Godhead, and if he does not somewhere in his life, in some form or other, tasmat kena upayena Krishna bhakti prajayate, by hook or crook, proper translated this tasmat kena upayena as by hook or crook sell a book. This is the modern Vedic poetry. By hook or crook sell a book. If one does not do that, somehow or other in his lifetime, by hook or crook, if he happens to sell one book, and also read it, at least after selling it. If one reads that too, because we are selling these books, we must read them, otherwise it sounds a little funny. So if he cannot do that, and if he did not start that worshipping the Supreme Lord, and does not go back home, back to Godhead, then it is to be understood that he has been frustrated in fulfilling the mission of his life. Why? It is mentioned in the scriptures. Janmalava parapumsam ante narayana smriti. Janmalava parapumsam ante narayana smriti. If one parampumsam, pumsa janma param labam. In the human life, the supreme profit, the param labha, is that ante narayana smriti. One should at least finally, one should think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Can you please make some way for and give a place for Maharaj to sit down? So, Srimad Bhagavatam's verdict is that the highest profit of human life is Narayana Smriti. One should remember, one should have the remembrance of Sri Krishna. And sometimes we see it takes a lot of lifetimes for the person to come to that conclusion. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Bahunam janmanam ante. After so many countless lifetimes, ante, at the end, jnanavan, one who is wise, mam prapadyate, he surrenders to me. How does he surrender? Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. Vasudeva sarvamiti. Everything is Krishna. Everything is Krishna. This doesn't mean we are Mayavadis. Everything is Krishna means everything is maintained by Krishna, everything is created by Krishna, everything is annihilated by Krishna, everything is for Krishna, everything is in Krishna. This is called Krishna consciousness. Somebody asked Prabhupada, what is Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada said, very simple. To be conscious of Krishna. Is there any difficulty? Very simple. What's the difficulty? Krishna conscious means to be conscious of Krishna. That's a big complex sentence, Krishna conscious. Be conscious of Krishna. That is what the Veda says. Narottama Das Thakur says in very beautiful words, if one does not do that, Manushya Janma Paya, Radha Krishna na bhajiya, janiya, suniya, vishikainu. Janiya, after knowing, suniya, after hearing, vishikainu, drinking poison. We know it is poison. Everybody tell us it is poison. And then we are telling everyone, yes, this is poison, and we are drinking it. So how stupid we are, or how intelligent we are. Manushya Janma Paya. Why? Because now you are human beings. If you were a beast, we don't mind. If you are a dog, we don't mind. When we say we have seminar on 6 systems of philosophy, we are not expecting camels and dogs and crocodiles here. We are expecting human beings. That is why we haven't put any defense around me, because I'm not expecting crocodiles and monkeys and orangutans. I'm expecting human beings. So this is meant for human beings, not meant for dogs. Neither meant for human beings who live like dogs. No. After all, dog is what? It is only consciousness. So Narottama Das Thakur says, Manushya Janma Paya, Radha Krishna na bhajiya. If one does not worship Radha Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then he is just drinking poison. And because the desires, they make you qualified for some result. The living entity is desiring, and then he is deserving. So the living entity wants to have something, then he will work for it, and when he is qualified for it, he will be given that opportunity. So this body that we have, coming back to the first point again, this body is a gift by the material nature. We applied for it. It was sanctioned. It was approved. And we worked for it. And we got it. If I have a nose like this, or if I have an eye like that, if I have a hand like this, I asked for it. I worked for it. And I got it. There is no injustice. If somebody, instead of a neck, he has a big hole there. Sometimes you see in the trains in India, in the Western country, they are very clever. They collect all these people, put them in one corner, so no one knows these beings are there. But in India, there is no time to do that. They are too late. So they leave them everywhere. So you can see them in the train. Instead of a neck, there is a big hole there. Instead of his eye, there is a big bulging there. This big. So you see these entities. So what are these? They asked for it. They worked for it. And they got it. Somebody is this fat. He cannot come inside this classroom. So he asked for it. And he worked for it. And he got it. That is the whole thing. So this material body is nothing but a gift of the material nature. Because a living entity wants to enjoy or suffer in a particular level of consciousness, then immediately the supermarket of Krishna has 84 lakhs of species of life. You can select which one you want. 4 legs, 6 legs, 8 legs, 2 hands, 4 hands, 6 hands, 8 hands. Whichever design you want, you can order. Fat, thin, skinny, Russian, Ukrainian, South Indian, Nepali, Manipuri, whichever you want, you can have it. I have one. You have one too. Some people have 2, 3. They are haunted. So, this is also there. This is Krishna's order. Karmajam Daivanetrena. Krishna is ordering. Material nature, supply this man this body. Supply this living entity that body. So this way Krishna is ordering. Anyway, so the mind and intelligence, in the body there is mind and intelligence, in the subtle body, ahankara mano buddhi. The mind and intelligence is given so that one can utilize it properly and regulate his suffering and happiness in this world, think of Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. But if one misuses that mind and intelligence, then he gets bound. Mrityu samsara vartmani. Again and again he gets bound in this birth and death. So, what is the method for purifying this mind and intelligence and escaping from this wheel of samsara? What is that method? Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo vacham sivai kunda gunanu varnane. We should simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and eat 5 kilos of halwa. Eat like this. Even if you cannot, you should push it in. Even if you had to vomit, doesn't matter. Put the prasadam in. At least in Mayapur, you should do that. Tamal Krishna Maharaj said in his class, quote unquote. Only problem is you may get sick, but doesn't matter. So, if the only method for taking this mind back from this material existence is devotional service. And according to the surrender, Krishna reveals himself. Ye yathamam prapatyante tam sajaiva bhajamyaham. Persons who are born, just imagine. Now, you are in a family. Suppose I ask you, how big was the nose of the great-grandfather 7 generations before you? And you would give me an idea. Yeah. Well, it was not very short. It was not very thin. I don't think it could have been fat. So you go on speculating like this. But what is the use? You're just a new member in the family. You don't know your 7th great-grandfather, how his nose was, whether he had a nose or not. How do you know? So, with the mind and intelligence, which is the product of the material existence, if we want to speculate and find out our original father, from where all grandfathers came, how is that possible? How can you do it? You can sit down and speculate for millions of lifetimes. Yes, God would be like this, could be like this, could have been like this, would have been like this, might have been like this, but it won't work. Because he is your great to the power of great-grandfather. So you simply have to ask that great-grandfather himself. If he reveals, then it is possible. So what is the process? The process of self-realization is never through karma, never through your material warfare of activities and result and reactions and enjoyment and suffering, never through your mental speculation, whatever philosophy it may be, Vedic, non-Vedic, Indian, Western, Chinese, it does not matter. It is not going to help. It will not help. What will help? The supreme source of everything. He has to himself give you the knowledge. He has to tell, yes, I am God and I am like this. This is my address. My address is care of Golok. And my code is, my pin code is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then you have. Because he tells you. And he knows, because he is God, at least, up till now. He is. We couldn't do anything to him. We were trying, but we could never do it. He is still God. So he is telling, I am God is like this, you are like this, and my telephone number is this, so you simply dial Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and Krishna says, hello? What do you want? We want to double the book distribution. Yes, do it. Just remember to give me laddus. Alright, finish. Because when this world is going on, and when the world gets annihilated, when big pralaya comes, everything in this world, all these universities, diversities, unities, everything disappears. Even the 14 planetary systems disappear. Brahma disappears. Shiva disappears. All the universes disappear. Veda also disappears. And the living entities disappear into the belly of Mahavishnu. Everything disappears. But one thing does not disappear. That is still going on. What is that called? That is called Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. That devotional service is eternally going on in the spiritual world. Forever. No matter what happens to the material existence, it still goes on. So some process which eternally goes on can give you the information of the eternal source of everything which is originally eternal. But if you try to judge him or gauge him by your material norms and means, whether you are doing it Vedic way or un-Vedic way or stupid way, intelligent way, does not matter, you will fail. Vedeshu durlabham adhurlabam atma bhakto govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. But it doesn't end there, because there are so many true intelligent people, mental speculators, philosophers, who have tried to understand the Supreme Source by their mental speculation. Generally, there are 6 kinds of such philosophers, mental speculators, in the Vedic life, whose philosophies are known as Shad Darshana. Shad means 6, and Darshan means vision. 6 ways of seeing. This is known as Shad Darshan. All these philosophies are impersonal, and you can write down in your notes, in capital letters, they are all Mayavadis. And we know, in our society, what sense this word carries. When you say, he is a Mayavadi, means he is untouchable. So all these philosophers are impersonalists, and they are all Mayavadis. Everyone has tried to establish his own opinion. Although, first they try to, no, it's like this. No, it's like this. No, it can't be. It is like this only. And this way they have a fight. But finally, as the time goes by and Kali takes over, they all said, it is all same. It does not matter. He is also right. I am also right. My uncle is also right. My neighbor is also right. Everybody is right. Actually, nobody is right. Right and no right is all same thing. So they have come to that conclusion finally. So they are all meant for mental hospital only. So none of them are valid. This is another thing. None of them are valid because their process of knowledge is created in this material temporary world by material temporary means, meaning mind mainly. It is all coming out of the mind. So their processes are not valid. The only thing valid is devotional service, because Krishna says it very clearly, Bhaktya mam abhijanati evam yasyasmi tattvataha. If you want to know me in truth, only devotional service. So it is Krishna's statement. He says, don't worry about the 6 philosophies. So I'm telling you all this today so that most of you won't worry about the 6 philosophies, and tomorrow you won't come to the class. And if some of you are still worrying about 6 philosophies, you please come. I will be still worrying about it for the coming 7 days. And the success of this class will be when I find nobody in the audience. Because we are not supposed to worry about these 6 philosophies. When I find not one person here, only me and Dakshina, then we will do a Bharatanatyam dance, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. That will be the success of this 6 systems of philosophy seminar. And let's see how much we can do it. Anyway, the theories of material philosophers are generated from temporary illusory existence, like the conclusions in a dream. All their conclusions are simply dreaming. So, anyway, let us see how many of you really understand this, that they are all dream, and how many of you stop coming to this seminar. By that we will understand that we have understood that 6 systems of philosophy is not necessary for us. I'm not discouraging you. This is my preparation for today's class. So, then we come to the point. We have something very interesting here. It's dark, so you have to put on your Brahma Jyoti, your spiritual effulgence to see this. I'm not sure. Someone can click that switch and pray to Ganesh.
Hey, look, there's someone's Brahma Jyoti.
Oh yeah, it's your Sony Sony Jyoti.
We can use this one.
Oh, see, as usual, it doesn't work. Thank you. Woo! He's a yogi. Alright, I don't know if everybody can have a vision from there. Tomorrow, I beg forgiveness from all of you because my list said there are only 18 students. So I selected this room. Tomorrow we'll have a bigger place. All of you will have place to sit down. You should excuse me for not giving you proper sitting. So here is a chart for us to see. You can see from there? You can't because I have a big belly. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll go that side. Cover you. So here you see these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different levels of our consciousness. Annamaya, Pranamaya, I explained that already. Then we all have heard these 4 words from Padma Puran. Ahara nidra bayamaitunam cha samanyame tat pashuhi samanaha. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These 4 things are very common for all living beings, whether animals or insects or human beings. So here, when once, actually this Annamaya and Pranamaya that covers all these 4 activities, but specifically speaking, people on the food platform, they are only thinking of 2 things, that is eating and mating. And people in the platform of existence of life, which is Pranamaya, they think of 3 things mainly, eating, mating and defending. And in Manomaya platform, eating, sleeping, mating and defending. They have completed the course, they have the degree. Ahara nidra bhayamaitunam cha. So they do all 4, especially the sleeping, that is the specific activity concerning our mental platform. So that is why all these philosophies which come out of our mental platform are known as dreams. Because in your sleep, you sometimes see that a tiger came and it is biting off your head. And you are seeing it. Your head is already bitten off, but you are seeing it. How can you see when your head is already gone? Well, that's called a dream. So these far out things happen. So these 3 platforms are covering these 4. And then Vijnanamaya, there, as I mentioned, there is the knowledge, but that knowledge is miserable knowledge of eternity. It is the knowledge of our eternity, impersonal understanding, but it is not blissful, it is miserable. That is known as impersonal. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Avyakta hi gatir dukkham. It is miserable knowledge. Dehavadbhiravabhyate, because we have form, so to think of formless Brahman is really miserable. And then you come to Anandamaya platform, which is blissful knowledge of eternity. Blissful knowledge of eternity. Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. That is the nature of our soul. Then we come to the third column here. People who are in Annamaya, they are interested in religious activity and economic development. People who come to the level of Pranamaya, they are interested in religious activity, economic development and sense enjoyment. Dharma, Artha, Kama. People who are in Manomaya platform, they are interested in all the 4. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Religious activity for economic development for sense enjoyment, And when he is fried, then he is thinking of moksha. But what is his idea of moksha? What is his liberation? His liberation is simply bhukti and siddhi. Bhukti means enjoyment in some other place, may not be here, but somewhere else. That is bhukti. And then siddhi means perfection over material elements, like walking on water, drinking fire, etc. Everything upside down. So then you come to the Vijnanamaya platform, where the moksha is mukti, means just get out of the material existence. This is called the miserable knowledge of eternity. You become eternal, but there is no ananda, there is no bliss. So that is called mukti. And then in Anandamaya platform, one comes to Swarupa, his constitutional position, which is known as bhakti. Bhakti paresha anubhavo. In our Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is mentioned that bhakti is paresha anubhava. It is the fifth platform. It is the fifth dimension of consciousness.